Hi everybody, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we are going to take a look at some of the new features that Padlet has released towards the end of June. So you're going to see some things that you are used to seeing, or if you're new to Padlet, this is a great little introduction as to what it can do into your classroom. But if you are not new to Padlet, you'll see some of the new features that they released this summer. So let's get in there. So if you do have an account, then you just go into log in, and I am a very big fan of logging in with my Google account. One less thing that I have to remember when I am creating my passwords and managing my accounts. So definitely when you see that Google login, use that button. So here's my dashboard. You can see all my other Padlets that I've created. And this does not look very different. You do have some sharing and some app plugins as well if you want to get a little advanced and fancy. But to start off, I always start with a new Padlet. Now here's where it gets a little new. There are already pre-plugged in titles and descriptions. So here I can always go ahead and modify and add different things to my Padlet. So I'm going to change my title. I like using Padlet, especially at the beginning of the year, as a welcome to get to know our students as well as for each of the students to get to know each other. So I'm going to call this Padlet Welcome Back. And what I've done in the descriptions, that's usually where I like to put my directions. So in the descriptions, I'm going to type up my directions to share a little bit about themselves. I do like to add these capitalized words just so that it comes out to the student to make sure they have their name in the title and describing themselves in the description as well as a photo. That also kind of helps me to learn about what their tech savvy skills are and do they know what they're doing and understand the icons, or are they going to need a little bit of help? Now the layouts, there are three types of layouts, and there always have been three types of layouts, but I think it's a little easier to use in this format. Freeform is where students can kind of just put post-its or tags wherever, and they can put it on top of each other and whatnot. Grid makes it nice and easy and grid-like. And then a stream kind of looks like a Facebook stream. I like the grid because then it locks all of the posts, so it's easier to read. Then you've got your wallpapers. I would suggest picking a wallpaper that applies to your activity. Since this is a welcome back, I could use a blackboard or even something fun that would represent myself or something that would represent the culture of the classroom. We've got some of our favorite All-American family backgrounds right there, as well as some really cool photos. The awesome thing too is that you are able to add your own photos. So if I click on add your own, you can either get a link of your photo from the web, upload the photo, or my personal favorite, taking a photo through your webcam. I'm going to choose upload, and I can choose a file, so I can go into all of my images and pick a file that I really like or that applies to my classroom. Since it's a welcome back, I'm definitely going to use the WA. I'm not too sure how big it is, so it might tile, it might expand itself. Gives you a little preview of what it's going to look like. You click OK, and looks like it's going to expand itself. So it's a little pixelated, but it's all right. So now that I've got my wallpaper, I can pick from my premium plan. So all of these free tools definitely do have a premium plan. Personally, I've never found a reason to upgrade to it, but you do have that option if you like. You can also change the icon. Right now there is no icon. I like picking an icon that makes sense to what we are doing in the classroom. So since it is a welcome, let's go with the picture of a screen. A little ambiguous, but I like it. Tags. Tags are a really great way to make your Padlet easier to search for. So since this is a welcome, I would probably do welcome West High and Psychish. That way my kids can find it really easily. And then lastly, you can also change the address, so it's a little bit easier for your students to find as well. All of your Padlets are going to feature your http padlet.com/your username as a teacher, so it's always /mpsychish for me. And then I'm going to change this to welcome 1617. Oops. 16-17. So that way it is for the 16-17 school year. So then I click on next. And it takes me automatically to my sharing options. I can make this private, so that way only me and the people I add as contributors, kind of like a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, only we can see it. It can be password protected, or I can put a password up there. It's searchable, but only those with the password have the option to write, read, moderate, or administer. It could be secret. Anyone who has the link or the QR code can find it. They can't search for it online, but if you have the link, you can access it, or you can make it completely public. Obviously, all four have a place in this world. I like keeping my Padlet secret just because then it's a little bit safer place for my students to be able to share their thoughts. But anybody with that link can access it. And then you can change those accesses. I like to keep it at Can Write until the students have completed the activity. And then I actually like to change it to Can Read once it's done. So that way they still have access to it, but they can't change anything. So now I could enter emails, or I could post that link onto my Schoology page. So that way all the students have to do is click on my Schoology page and find that link. And lastly, I can also moderate my posts. This depends on your classroom. Personally, once I know my kids, I don't moderate my posts because then I feel like, well, if you're going to put something on that's inappropriate, it's there for the world to see and I know exactly who you are. And my kids are pretty good about that, but it definitely depends on the classroom. You know how to read your kids, so you can decide as a teacher. Change this back to Can Write, and I'm going to click next again. And so I'm ready to post. On the student's end, when you share this, this is going to look exactly like this for your kids. They're going to have this little plus sign at the bottom. This is another new feature that it's a little more prominent on your screen. So all they need to do is click on that plus sign. And here, I can't move this because this is a grid. So if I had a few things, and let's say that was my post, here's my second post, Notice how when I add a second post, it automatically makes it into that grid. I'm going to toss this one. So as your students are adding posts, it is going to create a 4 by however many grid that you have on for your classroom. So in my directions, my title is my name. And in my description, 3 words that describe myself, creative, foodie, and techie. Great adjectives. And then to attach a photo, the kids would just have to go down here. These are all one attachment. And it kind of tells them that you can add anything. We're actually going to go back here. They can add an audio, they can add a video, they can add a picture, or they can add an attachment. To kind of take it up to the next level in SAMR, I've had students add thing links. So they've created a thing link on thing link based on an image, added their video, their audio, and actually posted their thing link on a Padlet. So it's a great way to really do some app smashing with your class. So let's say I'm going to upload another file, something that describes me. Definitely the BPA logo as a co-sponsored BPA and my school life definitely mesh together. Again, it gives me that preview, and I've got my picture. Now, once you're done here, there's some really cool a new cool feature that Padlet has added called cloning. So you spend all this time creating your Padlet, but let's say you like the structure, you just want to use it for another period, or you want to just change one thing, maybe it's the image, but everything else you don't want to have to redo your things. So what you can do is you can click on clone and you've got 2 options. You can copy everything, which literally means all the posts, all the words, all the images, all the stuff, and it creates a second copy. Or you can create a copy without the posts. And this is a game changer for my middle school and high school teachers who have multiple periods and want to use the same Padlet. So all of your work, all of your directions, your title, your backgrounds, all of that comes over, but it clears out all of those posts. So that way you can use it for multiple periods or even multiple times throughout the year. So that's a great, great feature that Padlet has added. So these are some of the newest features for Padlet. I hope you're going to start using them in your classroom. And if you have questions, you know where to find me. Email at mcikesh@sd129.org. Have a great one, everyone.